Another one is gone. Joanna's mad as cold, her body taken away this morning. In the weeks since Tatiana and Larissa's deaths, cracks have formed. The priest coughs sometimes, shakes his head as though trying to clear it of fog. Each Sunday, they listen to chairs scrape the wooden floors, the voices of their families singing hymns, the snow crunching as the world races them by. Snow still lies in piles outside, but fresh drift hasn't fallen in days. While the violence worsens, Annie's quicker to drag Aniela or Kaja upstairs. The room feels other changes, too. Joanna's death hurts, but it's expected. Helena gave her the extra bread rations. It wasn't enough. Aniela stares at the mat. The straw bends, holding her shape. The weight of silence comes, but its edges are harsher now, as if it grows tired of holding so much sorrow. Aniela holds the piles of the rhyme book, her finger tracing its words. Helena whispers a shaky prayer, trembling. No one wants to say it, but their grief is tinged with fear. Who will be next? Aniela wonders about Helena's prayer. Does she whisper the prayer of the dead? Eternal rest grant upon them, Lord? Or does she pray she won't be next? Why? The question taunts Aniela like forbidden fruit. She thinks it as she watches Helena's lips move. She thinks it even as Kalina clasps her throat and rocks. She's been like a caged bird, afraid to speak because of what happened to her sister, but also because there are fewer of them now. Easier to be seen, harder to hide. Clara worries Aniela now. She found Joanna without breath and mumbled, "Obedience is the only survival." Flickers of who she once was haunt Aniela. She longs to see the same spark in her as was there before Lucia's death. Lenka stares blankly at the wall, her eyes fixed on stone. And when she does speak, it's to usher everyone into line. Aniela hears her, late at night, crying for home in her sleep. She listens to her and thinks, do I do that? Thinking of Zasha fills Aniela with shame. Is she still the girl who called her sister a catterbutton? Is she still the one who dared to dance in a come-hither red mask or sneak out at night? The priest says she tempted the hushwood, that she invited evil into her home, into her body, by opening the door. Is that true? Aniela's eyes skitter away. Her jaw clenches. And maybe it is, but she won't show the other girls here that. When Kaja turned away from Joanna's still form, spitting, "None of it matters," she asked her what she meant. Kaja went back to the vent, her eyes longing for a slice of fresh air. None of them remember what it feels, or tastes, or smells like. She's really gone, Clara mumbles. Murmurs from the others circle the room. This has been par for the course for the last 6 girls who have died. This time, Aniela says nothing, but a small smile plays on her lips. She stares quietly, afraid to voice her thoughts. They won't understand. They'll think he's right, that I am a witch. Still, she can't stop the thoughts from swirling inside her. What are you smiling for? She's dead, Kaja says, bitterness hugging her voice. Aniela opens her mouth, closes it, the ghost of a smile curling her lips. When the others continue staring at her, she lifts a shoulder and says softly, "Good." The silence shifts from sadness to shock. What? Clara asks sharply, her eyes turning to stare angrily at Aniela. Kalina frowns, tucks her head between her drawn knees, and turns away. Helena's expression, though, doesn't change. Instead, her eyes warm slowly, with timid curiosity. Aniela bends her head, trying to think of how to say what she thinks. When she lifts her head, her eyes move from Iskra's empty space to Mila's. It drifts from Lucia's to Tatiana's, Larissa's to Joanna's. They've lost 6 sisters. Memories bloom, one after the other, and wheels spin, putting people and places into order. Iskra, she moistens her lips and tries again. Iskra didn't go through the reciting. Mila didn't go through the loss of more food, and Larissa didn't have to hold me down. Her voice cracks. She blinks and swallows. Her voice grows stronger. They aren't hurting anymore. She pronounces each word clearly, softly. The flamethrower's eyes begin to shine. They're free, she whispers. Something in Helena's gaze softens, but Linka frowns. He can't hurt her now. He can't hurt any of them. Don't you see? But if ghosts are real, they will haunt him. Kaja tips her head, reluctantly curious. No, they're just dead, Clara mumbles. They're gone. They can't do anything. They can't be happy. They're buried in the hushwood. Sure, they don't feel pain, but they also don't feel happiness. And it's cruel to be happy that they were hurting so much. At least we have our lives. What good is our life here? Aniela demands. What are we feeling except pain? I'm glad they're not being hurt, that they missed some of what we've been through since. Helena's voice hesitates. It's freedom. Death? Skepticism raises Clara's voice. Death is freedom? That's dangerous. What if the ending of pain? Aniela clarifies. The ending of pain is something to be thankful for. Her eyes beg Clara to understand. I wish they were here. I think of them every single day, too. But she searches for words, pulling her lip between her teeth. But if we cannot avoid death, we can choose freedom. The words hang in the air like salt, soaking up the rawness of death, the pain that vibrates in the room, the unspoken memories that have left their hearts split open, and the hopelessness that fear brings. The words sink into girls who were never passive, girls who were taken because they dreamed or sang or dared to be different. Tiny embers of something dangerous sparks in the room, warmth circling. Kalina shifts. Her eyes move to watch. She listens for the other pattern they know, heavy, heavy jingle. Her stomach churns with the fear of keys scraping a lock. But still, she moves. She rests her first and middle fingers on the back of her right hand. Her first finger taps once. F, she whispers. The same finger taps again. R. Both fingers tap 2 times together in quick succession. E. Tipping her head, she starts from the beginning. First finger taps once. F, she whispers. It taps once again. R. Both fingers tap twice. Quick. E. Her eyes lift, move from one girl to the other. Helena tries but fails to stifle a smile. Aniela's grows. When Kalina begins again, Helena's fingers imitate her. Aniela joins. Linka and Kaja tap. Clara sighs. Only when Aniela pauses to put her hand on Clara's knee, holding her eyes, does Clara reluctantly join. Free. Helena's hum is throaty and hesitant. She shifts until she's closer to the others. One by one, they move until their bodies form a close circle. Sitting crisscross, knees touching, breaths mingling, they hum and tap. Kalina keeps the rhythm by tapping instead of using her voice. 1, 1, 2, 2. F, R, E, E. After the last tap, Lenka rolls her wrist, the 2 tapping fingers finding her pulse. Shivers race down their spines. Choice. Tap, 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 roll, pulse. F-R-E-E. Find the heartbeat. Remember. Tears shine in Aniela's eyes. The priest holding her down, his body heavy over hers, lashes ripping her skin open, blood staining the stone of this room. Watching 6 girls die. The wage of sin is death. These words haunt her. Her lip quivers, her throat squeezes, and she just listens to the hum holding the room together. Let the woman learn in silence. From all your filthiness I will clean you. His voice whispers in her ear, the evil is inside of you. I'll root it out. Tap, 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 roll, pulse. F-R-E-E, heartbeat. Remember. Let them look then. They're going to talk anyway, so you might as well have something pretty to look at while they do. A laugh like chimes. You made a harness for a caterpillar. I'll never forget that. The girl she used to be, is she still here? Zazia, you've kept me breathing. Tears slipping from the corner of her eyes, Aniela tilts her chin up and hums. Softly she turns, pulls the rhyme book from the earth, slips to a new page. Kalina watches. Scars mark Aniela's body. Dirt burrows beneath her nails and smudges on her cheeks when she wipes the tears away. Lenka pocketed a new charcoal stick days ago. Aniela uses it to mark the page, and her fingers do not tremble. If we cannot avoid death, we can choose freedom. F-R-E-E. Kalina pauses tapping, but the others keep the rhythm going, as if it's sustenance, something to help them blow the ember into a roaring blaze. Kalina takes the charcoal and makes her own mark on the page beneath the letters. Above ground, the frost cracks. Snow melt slips for the first time all winter down the window pane. The sound of crinkling pages and the smallest bit of warmth promise the ember flies hover nearby. Their glow lighting dark places of the forest, places where soil piles unnaturally high. Whisper roots pulse ever so slightly. Their vines lighten up, whispering, holding, remembering. The hushwood stirs, exhaling a breath held too long. The burst of air drifts snow, suspends it midair, swirls it, sends it floating nearby until a new thing lies unburied. A tiny piece of a red ribbon a girl held in a cellar once tore from a longer piece with her teeth. The ribbon was wrapped around a corn husk doll, not to warn, but to remember. And the tiny piece she tore, she stuffed into the pocket of her shift. It remained there until she was moved once more, this time to the forest, on the back of a man with an uneven gait. The tiny piece of ribbon fell from her pocket and was buried under snowdrift. Until now. Soon, Zasha will find it, and when she touches it, it will be warm despite the cold. When she clutches it in her fist, whisper roots will heave in the same rhythm the girls make now. Thump, 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 thump. The ember flies will crackle. Antlers will appear in the fog, pause as if waiting for something, and then disappear into the hush wild again. The hushwood will expel short breaths, and somehow she'll feel the word, free. The rhythmic tapping and humming continues as the girls take turns holding and adding to the rhyme book. The hall is quiet. There are no boots coming, no jingle of keys. So they huddle together, and Aniela's blue eyes shine fiercely when she says, "We have to get out of here." It's as if she doesn't speak. No one replies. Aniela frowns and touches Kalina's knee. "We have to try and escape," she says again, her voice firmer. Helena looks up from the rhyme book. Gently, she lifts her shoulders in the tiniest of shrugs. "It wouldn't work, Aniela," she says softly. "We'd never win." "It's a really good way to die," Clara says distinctly. Anger starts to roll deep inside Agnella. Lucia's snuffed Clara's fight. She refuses to believe that, and so she shakes her head. We can do it. We can. We have nothing, Kaja says. We have nothing. It's not fair, but nothing's fair, is it? What's fair about us being taken in the first place? It's not fair. But it is what it is. We need to just obey. If we can just stay quiet and not get in their way, then we die. Agnella's voice rises. Shh. The girls simultaneously chastise her, looking in panic at the heavy oak door. Agnella sighs heavily, stands, the loose pages of the rhyme book sliding off her lap. She walks from one end of the cellar to the other. Standing beneath the glass window pane, she turns and stares at the girls who are watching her warily. What happened to Joanna? She demands. What happened to Larissa? They obeyed, didn't they? What good did it do them? Agnella. It's true. She swings her arms up in the air, slapping her palms against her legs. They didn't do anything wrong. They starved. They got sick. Look at us. She waves a hand. The faces of the girls are closed, and Agnella's shoulders drop. Maybe they're right, she thinks ruefully. The wages of sin are death. So if we're sinners, maybe he's right. Maybe we do deserve to die. Still, she makes another try. Helena, will we all get sick? Can someone survive forever on the food we're given? What if Jacob stops giving you extra pieces of bread? What will happen then? Helena shakes her head once, slowly, her eyes narrowing. Lenka says, if we got out of here, we'd never get upstairs. It is a death wish, Clara insists, her voice blank. We are locked in this room, first of all. So even if we wanted to escape, we can't open the door. We have nothing to break the glass of the window. And when they come, they are always right with us. It would never work, and you know it. You just want out, even if you die trying. The rest of us, we want to live. The drip, drip, drip of the water from the vent makes the only noise. Agnella looks toward Kalina. She says, you think that too? Kalina frowns. I think she's right. I think it's impossible. The shuffling of feet as she moves slides against the stone until she's sitting reminds her of the wind blowing through the trees. She closes her eyes and breathes in deep. They thought I snuck out to see the seamstress's son, but I really went to the Hushwood. She smiles sadly. I knew better. It was late at night, and I knew someone would see me. But I went at night because I love the ember flies. They're so pretty. And I would hide little things in the tree for Zasha, whatever I had. Sometimes I didn't even have a message, but I put something there because she liked finding things. She takes a breath. The wind would blow through my hair, and it would make me feel alive. It made me feel... She uses her fingers to tap the code for free. I'm never going to see my sister again. I'm never going to feel the wind again. She sees Helena's eyes glisten. Kaja mumbles, forces her home. It's like I said earlier, Agnella replies softly. If I'm going to die anyway, then I want to choose when and how. Maybe... She hesitates, her eyes cautiously tracking Clara. She sees the small twitches in her jaw, the way her nails are biting into her palms. Maybe we try. Maybe we get one of us out. And If one of us gets out, we tell everyone, until someone listens. She tells the other families how much we miss them. We're remembered. We would be heard. Kalina's eyes grow misty. Her breath shakes. Helena opens her mouth, closes it. Clara says, "He will not just kill you, he will torture you first." Aniela hesitates. "He held me down. At one point, his hand was choking me." Her voice breaks. "I felt him tearing me from the inside out." And Aniela, stop. Clara's eyes mist. "He can't do anything worse to me." She swallows. "Except take away my freedom." Linka moves first. Tentatively, she taps the code. 1122. Free. Helena joins next. Kalina looks at Clara, who parses her lips, tenses her shoulders. "This is suicide. We die if we don't do this. But what if, Clara? What if we did get out? Suicide either way, right? If we stay, we're subjecting ourselves to starvation or worse. But what if? What if we did? This could be freedom. And if we don't survive this, it's still freedom. There's no more pain." Kalina taps. Free. Clara swallows. Kaja nods curtly. "I'm in." "Obedience, Clara." Aniela's voice sharpens until Clara focuses on her. Aniela reaches out, puts a hand on one of hers. Instead of speaking, her blue eyes stay steady, holding her, silently willing her to let go of the fear. "You gave us this. This was your idea." Clara frowns. "What are you talking about?" "Jacob doesn't come on Tuesdays," Aniela whispers, parroting Clara's words that awful night when she came back from the priest's room. Tears spill onto Clara's cheeks. She takes the back of her hand and wipes her eyes. Aniela presses, "You came back and you told us that." He doesn't. "I count the boots. It's always lighter." Aniela nods. I know because you see everything. You were thinking this long before I was. This was your plan all along. You gave at least one of us a way out. So will you help us?" A fragile sigh becomes a sharp intake of breath, as if she suddenly remembers something. "The bucket." "What bucket?" Kaja asks. There's a bucket near the stairwell door. It's there to catch dripping water from the ceiling." She shrugs, but Aniela smiles. "It's there," she sings, patting Clara's knee happily, "to prop the door for us. Isn't it, Clara?" And for a moment, a spark flares in Clara's eyes. She nods. The moon outside rises higher. Clouds shift by slowly, letting it shimmer brighter for the first time in weeks. "It's decided then," Aniela whispers. The others note how her face seems to glow. A hint of color returns to her cheeks. She seems stronger than she has in days. "The flamethrower's happy," Kalina teases. "We need to think." She paces the room back and forth while Linka draws the plans in the rhyme book. A bucket. They'll use it to prop the door open. We need to decide who will run. Aniela takes a deep breath, holds it while the room weighs her words. "You mean who might survive this?" Kaja asks. Her voice is emotionless. Aniela nods. We give one a fighting chance, and then we protect the rest. Helena says, well, Linka is the fastest. She's also not sick. She might, Helena emphasizes, be able to outrun them. Anyone disagree? Clara, Linka, you have to run. You can't look back, and you cannot stop no matter what. Linka swallows. If I'm caught, if you don't want to be the runner, Aniela says, then Kalina. But Kalina shakes her head violently. Linka closes her eyes, breathes deep. I can run. Kaja, we need you to watch Tomas and Matuus. You made the creek map. You know which boards make the sounds and which ones don't. Can you draw it for us so that Linka will know where to step in case she gets ahead of them and they don't know exactly where she is? Yes. She takes the charcoal nub and the loose rhyme book pages, begins making a map, H for hush boards and C for boards that cry. We go on a Tuesday. Aniela's hands move as she speaks, her head bent in concentration. When they line us up for work, that's when we'll go. Last week, they didn't separate us into two groups. It was just one, because there are so few of us now. So it should just be one guard, not two. If it's Matus, he'll use the whip, Kaja says. Tomas is mostly hands. We'll remember that for those of us who remain. We'll make sure that the weakest of us is closer to Tomas, since he won't use a whip. Aniela speaks faster now. I've been coughing. And the other day, Tomas and Jacob were talking, saying, Helena sighs, saying I might be next. Her voice gains strength. So I can distract them somehow. Aniela nods, pointing to the air. Yes, that's it. Okay, so they come to line us up. Helena will be first in line. We'll start walking down the hall on the creek map towards work. But then, Helena, you'll pretend to faint, and you'll fall forward so that you fall into the guard. Make him stumble. On the third hush, Kaja adds, lifting her head from the page. She turns it so everyone can see. They'll walk along the boards closest to the wall. If we can get Linka to be fourth in line, and Helena is first, then when Helena touches the third hush, Linka will be at the staircase. A moment's silence. If she's at the staircase and a commotion happens that distracts the guards, she can run. It feels like a victory when Clara's smile dawns first. She chimes in and says what everyone else just heard from Kaja. When Helena falls, the guard will have to either catch her or at least ride himself, and that'll give us a second or two. Linka will be right at the staircase. Okay, when Helena falls, Kaja, you and Clara will leap forward, okay, like you're trying to help her. It'll cause more chaos at the front of the line, giving Linka a few extra seconds to get up the stairs. I'll be behind Linka, and I'll push the water bucket forward so that it props the door open, in case someone else has a chance to run. Kalina, you will be right in front of Linka. You might have a chance to run with her. A moment of silence passes. Write it down, Aniela instructs. Kaja's hand moves. What about the stairwell door? I won't be able to open it. The silence grows heavier, and the hope that seemed so close moments ago deflates. Clara's lips twitch. She glances up towards the stone ceiling. On Tuesdays, they don't always lock it. Tomas always does. He never forgets. But Matus, sometimes he doesn't bother. I count bolts, so I know it's been left open before. Maybe the chore will be scrubbing floors, because we have to carry buckets up and down. Sometimes they leave it propped for that, Kalina says softly. So we're going to bet everything on sometimes, Kaja mutters. The girls lean closer, hope flickering like a candle. Aniela's voice is fierce as she presses, "We bet on sometimes, because it's all we have." Clara pulls her bottom lip between her teeth. Then Linka, Kalina, whoever gets to that door, they have one chance. Linka's eyes widen as she sits, holding her breath. "Okay, we need signals," she says. "We need signals. Some way that those who are in the back of the line can tell those who are in the front not to do this. I mean, what if he shows up somehow and only a couple of us see him? What if another guard comes out of a room blocking the stairwell? It'll only be seconds that I'll have." Kalina tilts her chin. "I'll hum. Always. You'll hear me. But if I stop humming, don't move. Don't fall. Do nothing. Nothing at all. We wait another day." Brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes, they flick from one to the other. It's fragile. They know the likelihood is that they won't survive it. "Aniela, if you're at the end, you'll be by the door. You can run too. Will you lead her out?" Clara asks. Aniela hesitates only a moment. "No. I will make sure the rhyme book is carried. I will prop the door open for anyone who can get through it. I will stand in front of it, scream, claw, kick. I will buy you time." She pauses and lifts her chin. "And then I will be free." Linka taps slowly, deliberately. 1, 1, 2, 2. The cellar is silent except for the taps. 1, 1, 2, 2. Each girl presses her fingers harder, the sound soft, steadying, echoing off stone. And for a moment, the rhyme is louder than hunger, louder than fear. For a moment, the rhythm is a shared heartbeat. Free.